I call it the hoarding of wealth, the hoarding, because I honestly, and I didn't realize it was in line with any ideology that already exists, but I felt like there should be a capping of how much assets you can have, because it really, once you get over a certain dollar amount, there's really nothing you could do but hoard it. Honestly, sit it in a bank, sit it in stocks, let it grow, and just hoard more of it. So there's really no point of it. You just have it just to say it's like a scoreboard type of thing. So this might be
But it's not a
controversial.
scoreboard, though. And this is the point that I think that gets lost in that. And even Marx and Engels talked about this. It's not about just hoarding, it's about accumulating more ability to manipulate more people.
But yeah,
That's,
yeah,
I
yeah,
think, it's not about profit. It's not about just having more and more and more for some arbitrary or undefined reason. It's specifically done to have more power over other people, to manipulate the rest of us and exploit the rest of us.
yeah. So
That's
I get what,
that's
yeah. So you're saying
I
that
just
number
like to
is
be
not
clear.
just a number by itself. That number means other things. The number can be as high or as low, whatever. But if you have that much power to manipulate the market like they do, or manipulate the people of the country like they do, that's what those numbers mean. It's not
That's
just
all
a
they
number.
want the money for. They
Yeah.
don't like you hear all the time how wealthy people. I mean, some of them, they're not out here buying all the, like they're not. Their real concern is isolation, exclusivity, and to be able to manipulate. In other words, how else are they going to get people to do everything for them? To
Right.
clean and cook and wash and produce labor. How do you do that? How do you make people do all of that? They don't want to do all of that. They don't want to wash their own dishes and drive their own cars and fly their own planes, and they don't want to sit with other people on a plane. They don't want. So how do you do that? The only way to do that is to accumulate more money. That's it, it's for the specific purpose of manipulating other people to get them to do for you what they would not otherwise do. That's why. And I think so when people, not saying you were doing this, but it often gets left at this idea of just about having more money. And the whole purpose of money is to manipulate other people. So that's the part I think we need to be clear on. So when we think about all of this wealth other people have, instead of being jealous and wishing we had it, the point should be, why should anyone be able to have that much manipulative power over the rest of us when we are doing all of the work and producing all of the wealth?
Right. And I agree with part of that. Only part I disagree with is the idea that with the wealth comes the power, because when I look at people, Jeffrey Epstein wasn't worth what Oprah's worth, right? But he can move the world in ways that Oprah could never move it. So that's the only idea I want to say is that some people are inheriting power for different reasons other than money. And there's people like Jeff Bezos
No,
and
but that's the goal, though. I'm not
yeah.
disagreeing with you. I'm saying
Okay.
that the only goal of money is to get
For
power.
the
If
power,
you
yeah.
the power, so Epstein's power relative to the amount of money he had and the amount of money Oprah has is different, but his ability, the wealth he had to manipulate the rest of us was still tremendous. And then
Right.
the role he served in protecting the more wealthy and powerful is again part of my point. So uh again, that is my, I mean, it doesn't, but again, we're also talking about the difference between Epstein and Oprah, not, which is, again, we're talking about
Right.
the difference between two people in, a
Elite.
handful of the,
Right.
1% of the population. We're not talking
Right.
about them versus the rest of us.
Right. Right.
Within that ruling elite, yeah, there's competition. Yeah, there's even beef. But the ultimate goal is the ability to manipulate other people to get them to do what you want them to do. So if you can do that even while Oprah has more money than you, yeah, so be it. I remember years ago, Jay-Z tried to get that. I use this. I used to use this all the time as an example. Remember, many people might not remember. Like 20 years ago, he tried to move into some elite Manhattan penthouse, and the people in there told him no.
Right.
And he was like, "But I have more money than you." And they were like, "That's not the point. You're missing the point. You may have more money than me, but you do not have the power that I have."
Right.
Now, the only reason money was created was to create that kind of power. Once they have that kind of power, they are able to use it and coalesce it even against others who might have more money than them.
Right. Right. The monopolizing of power.